Hi, and welcome back. So today I'm in my 2021 Tesla Model 3 long range, and I have a fault that I want to report and let you know what's going on and what I've done about it. So I want to, before I get started, say thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't yet, consider clicking that subscribe button. Let's get down to it. Okay, so I got this fault that said the restraint control module has detected an issue with the safety system. And it also went with this one. The restraint control module has detected an issue with the occupant classification system. So I don't know what this is. It would not go away. Let me turn the camera back around so I can speak to you about it. So when I got this error, I went into service mode and I cleared it, or I attempted to clear it. But what happened was, as soon as someone would sit in the seat, it would come back. So there was clearly an issue. So I went in the app, I set up a service appointment, which I recommend you always do when you get a fault. Get a fault checked by a Tesla service technician. So I'm going tomorrow to get it checked. Now, they did, when I set up the appointment, they sent me a quote that I had to approve for like almost $600, 580 something. I don't remember the exact amount, but around there. So I approved it. I then did request a phone call. They did call me. And I asked, and they said, the nice lady at Tesla said that they quote that much. That is the worst case scenario. If everything went wrong or they had to replace everything, they want to make sure they can order all the parts, blah, blah, blah. So we'll see. I will post a video tomorrow when I go to the service center and let you know, what the actual cost ends up being, what the actual fault is, what they do, how long it takes. She told me it should take about 2 hours. I'm going to stay and wait at the Tesla dealer. I'm actually going to be there longer than 2 hours because if you can see, I've got tires again. So I'm going to be having them mount balance and a wheel alignment on the new tires. I'm going again with the Bridgestone Drive Guard run flat tires. This will be my, I think, third or fourth set. I like them a lot. Obviously, keep going with them. They're great. They're not super noisy that I notice. I mean, maybe they are. I just don't notice. But for me, they're not. The ride is great. The comfort of knowing that I don't have to worry that I don't have a spare is fantastic. So yeah. So this is the beginning. For me, it'll be tomorrow. For you, it'll be in about 5 seconds. But you'll get the results. I'll let you know what happened. And yeah, I'll give you a follow-up on my service appointment. So stay tuned. As you saw, from a minute or so ago, I did go for the service. I'm back. It was yesterday that it went for the service. So to give you some background, my car is a 2021 Model 3 long range, and I have 154,246 miles, okay? I put a lot of miles on my car. So I got the warning, as I said in the previous video, an alert, and as you saw in the thumbnail, about a passenger side restraint fault. So I went in the Tesla app, and I reported it, made an appointment, and all I put was I received a fault for passenger side restraints. I also at the time I bought my own tires. I used the Bridgestone Drive Guard run flat tires, which I love. I have a previous video reviewing them. I'll put a link in the description. So I had them with me, and I was going to have them mounted and balanced, as well as an alignment done. Mount and balance was $140. I got the estimate. The mount and balance was $140. The wheel alignment was $270. So 400 and whatever, $275 actually. So $415 was a set price. No, what it was. The estimate for the seatbelt fault was $550. I called Tesla and I said, did you remote into my car? I'm not going to say which service center because they've been very good. I don't want to, shade anybody, and this isn't whatever. So, they said, what I was told by the lady who answered, at least what I remember, was, well, we like to make sure we cover everything in case we have to replace everything. So I was like, okay, so that's not definitely the price. I mean, it may be less. Or she goes, yes. Okay. So I went for service yesterday. I got there at like 11:15. I was there till 3:15. So 4 hours. Midway through, the lady comes to the waiting room and says, so they've looked at the car and it's way more. They have to replace way more than they thought. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? And she starts enumerating different things. I'm not a tech. I'm not a car person who knows whatever. I need to know the price. So I said, well, what are we talking about? So she said, 2,000. I was like, there ain't no way. I was like, what do you mean 2,000? For everything, just for the seat, what's going on? She's like, no, the total, which means if you do the math, that the price for the seat more than tripled. And I thought they said they had to do, or the restraint system. I thought they said they had to do that they put in the most. So I was like, no, no, no. But the problem is, what are you going to do? You can't have a car. Like, I don't know if that alert means it's unsafe. Is it just a bad sensor and the seatbelt and the restraint system is fine and the airbag? I have no idea what it means. So kind of, they got me, right? What am I supposed to do? Yeah, I was like, no way. It's too much money. I was so upset. But really, what are you going to do? So we went up to the counter. I said, can we review this, please? Let's look at what you're charging me. So she prints out the PDF. Meanwhile, I was able to look it up on my phone, and they had in like the passenger seat. They replaced the base, the part you sit on, the actual seat. Let me show you here. Hold on. They replaced this, and you can see it's slightly different. It's like more of a gray, which I'm not thrilled about, but they replaced this here, which I was like, wow. Looking at the paperwork, they were sensor, this, that, and the other. And then I said, is there anything, I just need the alert not to be on. I just need to know my car is safe. Can we trim anything out of here? And she's like, let me go in the back. Then I'm thinking, this is a lot of money. I'm not going to do the alignment. I'll save $275. I'll skip the wheel alignment, whatever. So she comes out and tells me, I can't believe it. The tech put the seat on twice. So I was like, okay. So I said, well, I don't want to do the alignment either. So then she reduces it and the price comes down, and then, I sit down and I was like, I'm putting new tires. I really should get the alignment. So I was like, is there anything you can do? Whatever. So she comes back and she discounted the alignment for half the price. So the moral of the story is, what originally was going to be like $960, which then escalated to $2,000, I ended up paying $1,270. So that means that, remember, she discounted the wheel alignment. So really that $1,270 should have been another $130. So it should have been $1,400. So basically the price went up $450 more than the original quote for the passenger restraint fault that I was receiving. So it didn't quite double. She did discount me for the wheel alignment, which I was very appreciative of because of the mistake they made. And the reality is, listen, if I didn't question it, most people would have just paid the $2,000 and been charged double for the seat, which was, I think, almost $500. Well, yeah, do the math, right? More, 600, whatever it was. So I was like, so the moral of the story is question it. Always look. But yeah, other than that, the tires are on. I got my wheel alignment. The car is great. I'm happy. It was a long visit. And they didn't give me a loaner. They said originally I was scheduled to be out by 2:30. So my appointment was 11:30. So a 3-hour appointment, they said you don't qualify for a loaner. But ended up, I was there 4 hours, never got a loaner. I sat there and, read a book and, bided my time. But it ended up, all's well that ends well. It only ended up costing me, $300 more. But I just wanted to let you know that was my experience of going to a Tesla service center for a passenger restraint fault. It was not, it wasn't good simply because they made an error that was very, very significant. And so all's well that ends well. That's the info I wanted to share, let you know how I made out, let you know how the process went. You'll see the fault is in the thumbnail. You can see there were 2 actually faults that are in the thumbnail. But yeah, that's it. So I just wanted to say that was my experience. I will put a link for the review of the Bridgestone Drive Guard run flats in the description in case you want to know about those. But yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't yet, consider clicking that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.